Sup YouTube, it's Partner Zed, and today I'll be reviewing Volume 3 of Gray Is. So this is what it looks like on the front, and the side, and the back with black and white as little kids on the sidewalk. And down here, this is actually Pure Love, a really short silent manga by the same manga artist, Juusan. Just this really short manga, only a few pages long, and it's really good. So I'll have a link in the description below where you can read it online. I think it's the best cover so far. I love how it looks like, and this thing makes it look even better. Though sometimes when reading it can get annoying because it moves around a lot, but you can easily remove it just like this. And this thing's of course a dust jacket. You can remove it, and on the inside the cover is gray with a coat. Side. And the back. This is really cool art. If you're not sure what Gray is about, you can check out my review of Volume 1, link to it, or no, actually a link to the playlist of all my Gray Is reviews in the description below. Now this volume, Volume 3, it actually starts out with chapter 16, while the volume before this volume, Volume 2, it ended with chapter 14. So there is no really chapter 15. It's not there. But it will be released sometime in the far future, and it will be called The Missing Chapter 15. And that sounds really exciting. I'm excited to know what that chapter contains and what it's about. Why is it such a mystery, and why is it missing? Why is it not in there? Yeah, but otherwise this really just continues from where it left off in the volume before this. Also, this volume is the beginning of a new arc. To be honest, I had no idea this manga had arcs until recently. I found that out, and it turns out that volumes 1 and 2 represent the first arc, which focused on Black and White's personalities. Volume 1 was from Black's point of view and it showed his life, and Volume 2 was from White's point of view and it showed his life. So the first arc was kind of like introducing us to them, while the second arc, which is Volume 3, doesn't really have a specific point of view. It's from different points of view, but it also has two conflicts. An external conflict, which is a fight between those two friends, and an internal conflict between Black and himself. It seems like he's struggling with himself, with this monster that's inside him. Not exactly a monster, but more like a hawk. Black sees that monster as this evil hawkman that lives in his bathroom. That hawk seems to be the bad part of Black's brain, the part that convinces him that he is useless. It is the part that causes him to hurt himself. And actually, this manga really focuses on self-harm. It is one of the most important themes in this manga, self-harm. And Black is a professional at that. He has scars all over his body, but he is trying his best to defeat that hawk, to defeat his fear and stop that self-harm. And there is this man, we don't know who he is yet, but Black seems to fear him, and he seems to appear somewhere, like in his nightmares and stuff. It seems like this volume focused a little bit more on Black. Now, of course, there were a lot of parts that concerned White, but it seems to be going more towards Black. But now enough talk about Black, let's talk about other characters. And speaking about characters, we actually have a character list for the very first time in this volume. Like a list that shows you all the characters, what are their names, with their pictures, and what they do, and all that kind of stuff. And it's actually really helpful. It made the story a little bit less confusing than it was. To speak about White a little bit, White is handsome as usual, and he's always there to help his friend. He's always trying his best, and also he is a pretty good writer, and not to mention he's a little bit of, he doesn't like crowds. He seems to always like to be in the background of things, or not really the main thing, and I kind of like him. I like both characters, Black and White. Now, to speak about minor characters, like secondary characters, there's Wasim, and he's this little kid that lives neighboring to Black, and he seems to always look up to Black, and he considers him as his older brother. Wasim reminds me of this anime I watched when I was little. It's called My Brother and I, and it's about this really small kid called Wasim, and he has this older brother, Sammy, and he just takes care of him after their mother died, and it's kind of sad, but yeah. Anyways, Wasim seems to be like growing up. He seems to be in the stage between being a child and being a teenager. And then there is Wasim's mother, who is, well, she doesn't really trust Black that much. I mean, she's that type of mother who is way too overprotective of her little son Wasim. She is always afraid that Black would be a bad influence on her son, which is not completely true, but kind of true. I mean, Black, as we all know, he loves children and he cares for them. He's a very nice person, but at the same time, he could be a bad influence because let's say, for example, Wasim enters the room, let's just say, and he sees Black doing something bad, hurting himself, cutting himself. If Wasim happens to see that someday, what would happen? I don't know, like, would he be scared of Black? Would he still see him as his idol? Would he try to do that himself? Or would he try to help him? I don't know. And I wonder if that's actually going to happen some point in the story. Wasim seeing Black during a breakdown or something like that. So Wasim's mom is overprotective. She might be a little bit right, but still I don't really like her. She's one of my least favorite characters. And also later on we actually meet a bunch of new characters, and this time those new characters are actually new, like brand new. What I mean is that since the beginning of the story, all of the new characters we met were characters that Black and White already knew. So they weren't really new for them, they were just new characters for us, the readers. But right now, Black and White meet new characters that are new, not just for us, but also for Black and White. So that's really cool. To sum up, Volume 3 is a really good volume. The beginning was a bit depressing, especially with Black's self-harm, but later on it becomes really, really exciting, and I can't wait to read Volume 4. My favorite part in this volume is the lighthouse thing. Not the poem itself, even though the poem was really good, but Black's explanation of his drawing, the drawing of the lighthouse that White was talking about. I really loved the way Black saw that. It was just, it gave me goosebumps. So yeah, that's pretty much my review of Volume 3. I will not be talking about the art this time because, first of all, we all know the art is great. There's no need to talk about that. And second of all, I already talked way too much. So thanks for watching this review. Peace.